Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the most recent stock market crash, along with revealing all of my losses for today. Usually we do gains and losses, but unfortunately today was just losses only. So with that, I'm just going to be doing another transparency update with my portfolio, talking about the stock market and my predictions for the future. But of course, as always, if you do appreciate this content and the transparency, then please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out and I appreciate it a lot. But just jumping on to the main topic, as you can see from today, we lost a pretty penny today for sure. We lost about $2,500. My portfolio is down about 2.77% for today. And then in the after hours, we're gaining a little bit of that back. We're at plus 0.15% right now, or plus $128. So as you can see, we started out, in the pre-market, it wasn't actually too bad. So pre-market, we were only down about 0.37%. And then at 9:40 a.m., we were actually above the market in the positive. And then ever since 9:40 a.m., the market has just went downhill since then. We had a huge spike downwards until 10:05 p.m. Then it spiked up just a little bit, and then we had another downturn. And it pretty much stayed in that area on that general baseline for the rest of the day up until now, which is after hours. So we had a pretty bad day in the stock market. This is definitely a crash. And even if we look at the other stocks, such as VOO, which represents like the general stock market trend, and then we have NASDAQ, which is more tech focused, but it's kind of like the tech stock index. So as you can see, VOO is down 2.25%, NASDAQ is down at 2.79%. So today was a pretty significant crash. It wasn't like a 5% or anything like that like we got a few months ago. But still, it's definitely one of those days that hits hard on the portfolio. And before we go on any further, I just want to emphasize that nothing that I say in this video is to be considered financial advice. It is simply me just sharing my thoughts and opinions about the market. But one thing I would like to mention in this video is to just emphasize the idea that panic selling is most likely a bad idea at this point. Yes, I know the future is uncertain and there's a lot of caution in the market right now. But if you're investing, if you're starting investing right now, in my opinion, the best thing an investor could do at this point is just dollar cost average. Use days like these as opportunities where you can buy some stocks on sale, because we don't know what tomorrow or the next week or the next month or the next year is going to bring us. So really the best strategy, if you want to get into investing and start investing, the best strategy is to just dollar cost average, buy high quality long-term stocks, and then do not panic sell them and just hold them for the long term until retirement. That's really where you get the most bang for your buck. You get the most compound interest for your buck, and you don't have to pay taxes on it until you sell it in 40 years. Whereas if you panic sell today or you panic sell in the upcoming week, you're going to be paying taxes for the upcoming year. You're going to be paying taxes next April on this most recent sale. However, you can let your money just compound for you over the next 40 years and grow it tremendously in the future if you just take it easy, have a level-headed mindset, and not stress out too much over this crash, because really this crash isn't that big of a deal. It's about time we had a day like this to sort of correct all of these green days that we've had so far. I know last week 4 out of 5 days were green days, and then this week so far we've had like 1 or 2 green days as well. So it was about time that we had a day like this, and it's not really surprising to me, really. So the best way to treat today, in my opinion, is to treat it as a buying opportunity. Don't look at red days as a bad thing. Look at red days as an opportunity. When you have this mindset, it's almost as if you never lose as the investor. On green day, you're growing your portfolio, you're growing your wealth, and on a red day, you're getting opportunities to grow your wealth even more. So that's one thing that I really wish people would start to adapt to. I think that mindset is really the ideal mindset for investing, because in my opinion, panic selling is just not the way. When you panic sell, you lose money, and then in the next upcoming weeks or the next upcoming year, you regret panic selling because you see the stock market keep going up. So the best way for passive income and to just generate wealth over time is to just treat investing casually and not stress out so much over the day-to-day movements. As long as you have picked a high-quality long-term stock, the general trend will be up for that stock. So there's really nothing to worry about in the meantime, but you do have to make sure your initial stock choice was correct in terms of it just being a high-quality long-term stock. But that's definitely a perspective that I wish more people had in the stock market. I know especially on Reddit, there are some people that have my mindset, but there's also a lot of other people that talk about how they have panic sold or they're trying to time the market, and just all of those things are just something I don't think is a good idea as an investor, and especially as a newcomer investor, you're going to have to get used to these day-to-day movements because it happens constantly. And I think a lot of us have been spoiled over like the past few weeks or so where the market is just going up tremendously. But this is a common thing, and I wish people would emphasize more that red days are an opportunity and that buying and holding in long term is much better than buying and then panic selling at a loss. But at this point, I think investing is really just a matter of patience. If you don't have patience, then you're going to have a hard time investing because it's almost necessary for you to have that. You have to wait many, many years to grow your wealth with a lot of these stocks here, and that's just how it goes with the stock market. But if you do have the patience, you can make a tremendous amount of money. I mean, if you look at my all-time portfolio, if you go to the very beginning of this, I started on December 2nd. So as you can see, I've already made 20% in 6 months, and that's because I had patience. I bought on the red days. I looked at red days as opportunities, and I've made about $14,600. So I was buying all the way down on this drop here. I was buying at the bottom. I was buying all the way down. Like I said, I bought tons of Microsoft stock, and it has done very well for me so far. We're up like 16%. So that is one thing that I really want to emphasize. This is what happens when you have patience, when you buy on the red days and buy when the stocks are on sale. And keep in mind that even with today's most recent drop day, that we are just where we were at on June 19th. So it's not like we dropped all the way down to way back in May 28th. I mean, we've honestly just been set back only a few days. Today's the 24th, and we've just been set back to June 19th once again. That's just how the market goes. It's an up and down movement constantly. So in my opinion, this is not anything to really stress about. Even if there is a second wave and there's another stock market crash, all that is just another buying opportunity, and I'm going to continue to dollar cost average as usual, and of course buy the stocks that I think are on sale as well, because we do like those good deals. So I just wanted to emphasize that because I think it's really important to have somebody in the community that is level-headed about things and doesn't encourage panic selling and trying to time the market, because most of the times when you do those things, that's how you lose money. And the best way to invest, in my opinion, is to think positively about the red days, don't try to time the market, and be in it for the long term. So those are a few things that I keep in mind when I invest. Hopefully some of you may find that useful as well, but overall, like I said, today is really not a big deal. I feel like in the future, yes, there's the potential for another stock market crash, but we've already got the statement from the Fed that they will pretty much do anything to keep the markets propped up for us. I mean, those aren't the direct words, but that's pretty much what they're saying right now. So you really don't want to fight the Fed, in my opinion. Those are the people that can really just control the market if they want to. So I'm pretty bullish for the future. I do think that another stock market crash is possible in terms of just like a big crash trend downwards, maybe sometime in the future. But regardless, I'm still bullish on the future. I know that a stock market crash is possible, but I know that in the long term, the general trend of the stock market is to go up. And this always presents the possibility that today could be the last day that the stock market prices are this cheap, because you never know if the stock market will crash in the future or if it will just keep continuing to go up. And that's why I like the dollar cost average, because it doesn't involve a lot of trying to predict the market and stuff like this. You just buy and hold long term, and eventually dollar cost averaging will pay off, because eventually the stock market will go up, unless our economy just totally crashes and we turn into Japan, which is something out of my nightmares. So let's hope that never happens. But like I said, I guess when it comes to the stock market, I have a lot of mental fortitude. I'm able to separate my emotions from the stock market. And really, a lot of the times when I check the stock market, it's not like I check it 24/7. I look at it when I wake up in the morning and when I'm doing these videos and when I'm doing research for various stock videos. So I'm not like obsessive over the stock market. That's another thing to keep in mind as well. Don't be like too obsessive over looking at it every single day, like every single 10 minutes and stuff like that, because what really matters is just the general trend of what it's doing that day. So yes, if the stock market's up like 0.22% that day, and then you look at it again and it's up 0.23%, it's not a huge difference. And really, if the stock market stresses you out but you want to invest long term, maybe a good idea would be to just put in your initial investment and then just delete the Robinhood app or something like that if it's going to bother you to look at. And especially if you want to invest in long term, maybe that's a good idea for you. And I know there's some people out there that just can't handle that stress, so that could be a potential solution. But I like to look at the stock market regardless of the red days and regardless of the green days. It's always cool to look at, and it doesn't really stress me out whichever way it goes. I just look at every day as an opportunity, and I really think that's the ideal way to approach investing. Anyways, with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the numbers for today. First off, we have Microsoft stock, As you can see, I own 195 shares. My average cost is about $171. And my initial cost basis is $33,420. And if we look at today's returns, we're at minus 1.74% or minus $686.40. So a pretty solid drop for today for Microsoft. We're under 200 again, which is pretty sad, but we'll easily get back over 200 again in the future, in my opinion. And for the total return for all time, we're up 15.75%, which is about $5,265. So a pretty solid amount. Then next up, we have Tesla stock. This is the one that took a pretty big hit for today. As you can see, it's down 4.07%, which is about minus $1,386. And then in total, we are up 14.59%, which is plus $4,159. And then finally, we had the last stock out of our portfolio, which is Apple stock. And this one is down 1.65% for today. And today's return is minus $254. So that's another pretty solid loss for today. And then for the total return, we have plus 26.06% or plus $3,130. So in total, we lost a little bit of money today. As you can see, about $2,500. So that's definitely a pretty big deal. But in my opinion, like I say, as always, long-term is the future, and these day-to-day movements won't really matter when you're looking back in 40 years. So that's just the perspective that I have on the market. I hope that it's in some way helpful for you all that may be just a little bit nervous about the market or panicking. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button, and also feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull with my referral link in the description, and you'll get some free stocks. Here's just one example of a free stock you may get. And keep in mind, Webull, you actually get some pretty high value stocks, so that's one to consider. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe out there.